We will be starting our program in about 2 minutes. We will be starting our program in less than 1 moment. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the premiere edition of Monday Marketing Minutes. My name is John Turino, and I'll be regaling you this morning with the information that hopefully will be of great value to you. Since this is the first program, I wanted to start out by telling you what we're going to be doing over the next several weeks, why I felt it was a good idea to do it, and just how with the logistics and things like that. You'll notice on your screen that there is a questions area on the right-hand side. So please feel free at any time to put in a question or a comment, and I will do my best to answer it either as soon as it comes in or sometime during the broadcast here. This program is being recorded live on YouTube as a Hangout on Air. So if you can't watch the whole thing now, you can pick up the rest of it later. And if you have somebody who you feel might be of interest to it, then I would suggest you give them the link and they can watch it later on as well. Monday Marketing Minutes really is an idea that came to me actually quite some time ago, but I haven't really taken the time or the effort to put it together until now. I hope to be able to answer your burning questions about your marketing issues and to give you some tips and techniques and advice on marketing activities that will help you grow your business. We'll probably only take 20 minutes on average for each program, maybe 30 if it goes longer, but never more than 30 minutes. And again, the whole idea is to answer questions for you, the things that you want to know about. So I'm really dependent upon you to put those questions up and get them to me. Basically, let me get a share going here. And so I think I've told you a little bit about the what and the why. The how, it's a Hangout on Air, so it is being recorded live on YouTube. Please do ask your questions, and then I will answer them as they appear. We're going to talk a little bit about today's marketing tips and marketing advice. Again, answers to your questions, and please send your questions in for next week. Even after the broadcast, you can send them in to johnturino@gmail.com, and then we'll handle them in the upcoming broadcast. So with that, let's get into it. And here is today's tip. What we're talking about doing, first off, is analyzing your current customer base. Figure out the top 20%, who is buying your product or your service now. There are a lot of studies out there and a lot of articles and anecdotes about 80% of your business coming from 20% of your customers, and I still think that's probably true. And then figure out what they're buying. If you're not using your sales data and your shipment data to figure out what people are buying, you're missing a valuable source of information. So find out what they're buying, analyze that, and then find out why they are buying what they're buying. Because once you find out why, you can tailor your messaging for new prospects and new customers to have them respond to the things that were issues for your existing clients. So find out who's buying, what they're buying, and why they're buying. And if you're not sure why they're buying, ask them. You can send out surveys. SurveyMonkey can be done free, so that's an easy thing to do. And you could just ask them if you're a brick and mortar place, you can ask them when they come in to the store to buy something additional. And if you do online, you can do a little follow-up question or splash page or a little survey as a result of that. So you can get this information. It's going to take a little effort, but you can do it. And once you have that information, now it's time to find more people like those existing customers. Referrals are an extremely valuable way to pick up new clients and new customers, especially if you get really a warm referral, not just a cold call, but a warm referral that will allow you to call somebody and say, I spoke with Joe or Jane the other day, and they mentioned that you might be interested, pardon me, in something that I'm selling or providing as a service. Does that make sense? Would it make sense for you to come in or me to come visit you or us to have a phone call or a Skype or something like that? You can also go to databases to find additional people like that. Facebook, for example, will give you the option to upload your database of existing clients and then create a database from the Facebook lists of people with similar interests who might be prospects, again, additional prospects for you. So social media can be very valuable in finding that out. You can also join groups on social media that share interests that your customers, current customers, share. This is another way to gain exposure to more and more people. So we want to make sure that we find more people like the existing ones. We want to make sure that we use databases as they are appropriate, and that we take advantage of social media. LinkedIn for business to business is probably the best bet, whereas if you're doing business to consumer, you may find that Facebook is better. There are also platforms like Instagram and Pinterest, which many people are successfully using for marketing, depending again on what it is, what product or service they are selling. So, I mean, the work I do is basically helping people figure out who their target markets really are, what messages will really relate to those people, and what media is best for delivering it. So I can't give you a generic answer that says, always use LinkedIn or always use Facebook or always go to the databases that are available out there. You can even go to the library and get databases with no cost at all to do email campaigns, for example. And when you go back up to the top here, looking at who is buying, why are they buying, and what are they buying, one of the most important things to remember is to show your customers that you appreciate them. Okay? I've seen many, many studies that say that it's 5 to 15 times more expensive to get a new customer than it is to turn an existing customer into a repeat customer. And I believe that. My experience over the years has been that getting new customers is a lot tougher. Getting them is a lot more expensive. So show your existing customers that you appreciate them. Show them some gratitude. My good friend Jim Teasley preaches this all the time, and I agree with him. It's very, very important to show your clients that you really do care for them and that you are thankful that they do business with you. Any questions at this point? I don't see any coming in here yet. Look at that box on the right-hand side. You can type your questions in there and send them to me, and I will look at them for you. I have some other advice for you. Once you've done this basic step of figuring out who your customers really are, what is your real target market, the next step in the process really is to craft the messages that will resonate with those folks, okay? So what we want to do is craft messages that resonate not only in the brain, but also in the belly. People make emotional buying decisions. They like to think they do it logically, but they really make emotional buying decisions. So you need to get to the the issues? Is it pain? Is it a problem that needs solving? Is it achieving a gain? Will appealing to their pride of ownership be a good message? There are all kinds of ways, and in fact, I have a whole program on the messaging and the wording and the way to couch things and who to sell them to based on the hierarchy of your customer base, all the way down from survival of basic things all the way up to self-actualization with the rich and famous who you sell exclusivity and other things like that too. So you want to make sure that when you do the messages, you resonate with not only in the belly, but in the brain. It's important to understand the buying reasons. Why do people buy what it is you do? That's why I suggested in the previous little slide that you ask them. Find out, is it eliminating a problem? Is it achieving a gain? Is it avoiding pain? Is it gaining pleasure? There are lots of different ways to deal with that. So the steps again, let's make sure we know who our target markets are, and then let's put messages together that will resonate with them and help them solve problems or achieve gains. You know, it's fairly easy on the business to business side to couch a message that says, hey, you'll make more profits, or you'll have more business, or you will save costs. I mean, those are fairly simple things for most businesses. But remember that businesses are run by people as well. And you want to make sure that you get the emotional content into that when you put the business to business message together. The business to consumer message is usually far more weighted on the emotional side than it is on the product side or the rational side. I'm a believer that you don't have to yell at your prospective customers to get them to buy things. I hate those OxyClean commercials. There are techniques that you can use to use media most effectively. Visual is key to using media effective. Images that evoke emotions. Video, obviously, a very important tactic on Facebook and LinkedIn. There's new things like Periscope, where you can put whole programs up live from your telephone. But don't forget the old-fashioned ways. Direct mail, print. If you're dealing with senior citizens, people 55 and above or 65 and above, they read the Valpak coupons religiously. So that blue envelope that you get now and then with a bunch of coupons in it is a far more effective way to get to a 65-year-old person than putting an ad for them, aimed at them on Facebook or LinkedIn, because they're typically not on Facebook or LinkedIn. So you want to tailor the media most effectively to the people to whom you are trying to market your product or service, right? Hope that makes sense for you. I was going to do some answering of today's questions in this next little part, but it turns out that I didn't get any questions early on in the beginning. So I think at this point, I will see if there's any more that I could answer for you. See if any more come in at all here. Doesn't look like anything has popped up yet on the question box. So if you found, I guess we're going to have a short session today. If you found this interesting and thought it was worth the 15 minutes or so that it's going to take, I would sincerely ask you to put some questions together for me. You can do it either through the platform when you look for next week's episode, which will be on November 16th, Monday morning, 9 o'clock a.m. via Google Hangout on Air, recorded live on YouTube. Or you can ask them in advance at johnturino@gmail.com. Next week, what I'll do for you is try to answer any questions or comments that you have in response to this week's episode or the previous week's episode. If you have suggestions, please provide them for me. I'd love to hear your comments, good, bad, or indifferent, on either the live broadcast or the broadcast that has been recorded. I would suggest, or again request, that you tell me what kinds of information is most important to you. I really want to answer your questions. I will include next week, obviously, the marketing tips segment and the marketing advice segment. Again, important that you send your questions to me. Here's the email address at the bottom of that slide, johnturino@gmail.com. So with that, I think I've run out of things to say until I hear from you folks. Let me finish up by saying, if you would like some marketing help, that's what I do for a living. I don't cost a lot of money, but I don't come for free either. I also have some courses out there that you might find are of value to you. I just put up the new networking necessities, niceties, and no-nos program on a new platform called Yes Course. That sells for only $17. If you buy it quickly, it's only $7. It's a 20-minute course on sharpening your networking skills. On the Udemy platform, there is still the Marketing Plan Seminar, which is based on some live presentations I gave a couple of years ago that were extremely well received. And I'd encourage you to consider buying a copy of either the A to Z blog book, or even probably more generically, the new Inspiration Now book. People love the Inspiration Now book. It makes a great gift. Even for teenagers in high school, it's a great inspirational thing. And I also offer that book to nonprofit organizations. If people would like to sell it as a gift, or sell it to their members, they keep $5 for every copy they sell for $12.95. So if you have a nonprofit or know of one that you think that might be of interest to them, then please do let them know that. See, I think that's really it for today's Monday Marketing Minutes. Please do send me your questions, and I thank you very much for your kind attention. And hopefully we'll see you on November 16th at 9 a.m. for Monday Marketing Minutes. Thanks very much.